RCA Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana for what should be another great night of 125 East racing. Hello once again, everybody. Todd Harris along with the champ David Bailey. Well, in the West, it's Bubba and Preston doing their battle, but in the East, David, throw it up in the air because every night we've got someone different, as last week showed us Brock Sellards getting the win.
That's exciting because, you know, I mean, nobody can pick the winner. It's really tough to do here in the East. And last week, Brock Sellards, he rose to the top, and I can see that smile on his face. He's got the bug. He wants to win a lot more. And then Mike Brown just became a father right before the race, so maybe he was a bit preoccupied. He was fast. I thought he was going to run Sellards down towards the end. He faded a little bit. And Jesseman did an excellent job of turning a bad night into something pretty good. He just about had his pants ripped off of him in the heat race, but he salvaged the points. He's only 2 points out of the title now.
As we take a look at the Suzuki Series standings, it's Brock Sellards, Branden Jesseman, Mike Brown, and then Michael Byrne and Kelly Smith. Now, Michael Byrne's a guy we won't be seeing for a while because the injury bug has certainly visited 125 East.
That's too bad, too, because Michael Byrne certainly has the talent to win. So does Grant Langston, but both of them are out with injuries now. And Tedesco went down hard last week, a concussion. He tried to ride this afternoon, but he couldn't concentrate on the racetrack. Wisely decided to sit it out.
In the 125 East division, it seems like the start is critical. For more on that, let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team, a man who's never laid off the line, Cameron Steele.
Well, the last two 125 East main events were won with great starts. Both Jesseman and Brock Sellards got out to basically a hole shot, and then we're gone from there. So I wanted to give you the 411 on how it works. The gate drops at you, and you got 20 guys on the line with you. The starter's got one of these, the 30-second board. It comes up like this. You got basically 25 seconds to prepare and get ready. Then it goes like this. Boom, it's go time. You got 5 seconds until the gate's going to drop. And then that's when the money's on the line. You want to get a great start, get to the corner first, into the hole. There's only room for one guy to get the hole shot, and that's what they're all shooting for.
All right, thank you, Cameron. David, it's now time for the THQ track map.
Well, Todd, it's another long start. Just like last weekend in Atlanta, it takes you into a left-hand sweeper and down the first rhythm section, which is really tricky because the dirt's so soft it gets rutted. Make a left, hit the first big triple, make a right, go across the starting line under the tunnel. That shoots you into the whoop section before coming around to the finish line jump. Another couple of lefts over the triple, around the perimeter of the stadium, and back to the first turn.
Take a look at the Nissan 125 East heat number 1 starting grid. Branden Jesseman and Mike Brown are in there. Eric Vallejo will be manning the helmet cam, Steve Boniface, and the rest of the crew, including Shane Best. There you see them. It should be a great race. Remember, the top 9 going to the main. The West is pretty much all but sewn up between James Bubba Stewart and Travis Preston with an outside chance, but in the East, it's a whole different story. We saw Branden Jesseman at the first 125 East stop Minneapolis win. And as you pointed out, last week he almost lost his pants.
Well, he did a good job keeping his composure there. He kept pulling him up over the triples. He turned a bad night into a pretty good one. He was able to still get up in there and finish on the podium. He's only 2 points behind out of the lead. There's Mike Brown, who sits behind both of those guys. The sign is sideways.
Riders off the line at the RCA Dome. Everyone heading to that first big left hand. We'll find out who gets the whole shot.
Looks like Jesseman's going to get there first, Todd.
Big pile up behind him with 2 riders going down, but it's Branden Jesseman out in front. Remember, there's 20 riders. They're going 6 laps. The top 9 will automatically go to the main event. The other 11 to the LCQ. And it's Branden Jesseman taking under the MX Superfly tunnel. Right now, he's sitting in first place, but behind him, he's got a pack of great riders, including Brett Metcalfe.
And Mike Brown just put a little stuff number on Troy Carroll from Australia.
Here's the section that gave a lot of riders trouble during practice, especially in the 125 division.
It's a tough lead into that triple, and if you don't get on that step on and step off just right, you're forced to double, lose a heap of time. And look at the lead Jesseman already has. His ride is beautiful. He said last week he just couldn't really gel with the track. He just never really felt that comfortable, but for a guy that's not comfortable, look at that. Brown trying to go after Jesseman, doesn't want to let him build any confidence. But for a guy that wasn't comfortable last week, Jesseman sure turned in a pretty good result.
So Mike Brown having a few problems. They're making that big right-hand turn back to the straightaway. Here they are through the whoops. Jesseman having no problem as he comes to the start-finish line. And Branden Jesseman and Mike Brown waging battle 1 and 2. Now, real tricky section there, David, as they go over that start-finish. You can't overshoot it.
Yeah, a couple of guys over-jumping that in practice yesterday and really having some time trying to get stopped to that corner. Now, look at Brown to the inside of Metcalfe. Yeah, he didn't have to really get in there and make any contact at all, but he definitely went in there with authority, and Metcalfe was just like, okay, I better get out of the way, because Brown is not the kind of guy you want to, you know, especially if you're on the outside, you don't really want to test him, because he'll put you down, put you wherever he needs to put you, so he can get the position he wants. He's trying to reel in Jesseman. There you see the gap. He's closed a little bit.
It's amazing, though, when they come into the MX Superfly tunnel, they're using that wall as a bank, and then you get that long run to the whoop section. So it's Branden Jesseman in first, Mike Brown in second. Brett Metcalfe currently sits in third. This is heat number 1 of the 125 East, and we're going 6 laps for the top 9 going to the main event.
Brown continuing to close just a little bit, just inching up on Jesseman. Even if he wasn't able to get around Jesseman in his heat race, Todd, he's at least letting Jesseman know, hey, I was a little bit quicker. You know, in the main event, that'll be on Jesseman's mind. He's got the intensity these guys are riding right now. I mean, they're pushing so hard.
Well, with 3 laps to go in this 125 East, heat number 1, it is Branden Jesseman. As you said, Mike Brown really closing down as they come to this whoop section. Brown, the 13-year pro, 29 years age, out of Johnson City, Tennessee, starting to gain in on Branden Jesseman. Now, this is just a heat race, but as you made mention of earlier, David, don't want to let him build confidence, and Brown has a slight problem right there. Can only double through here.
That was the section I just talked about before, where you don't get on that step onto that plateau and then back off. You can't do the triple. That's what happened to Mike Brown, and look at the time he lost. Just one mistake. That was the breathing room, I think, that Jesseman needed to relax and win this heat race. Now, Jesseman up over that little roller. Watch Jesseman up on the plateau, but Brown gets a little sideways right there. Nice save, but he lost the speed he needed to do the triple, and Jesseman's in the clear. Look at the timing he's got right there. This loop section, he's able to jump through there, and it's a little bit more consistent when he can do it that way. They were a little bit more peaked in practice as he takes the white flag, but they're over the course of the afternoon and into this night program, it's gotten a lot easier. The guys are just blitzing through there a little bit more and finding a rhythm.
Branden Jesseman continues to lead. This is the white flag lap here in the 125. Heat number 1 is 125 East, and Jesseman out of Palm Bell, Pennsylvania, about 20 miles northwest of Pittsburgh. Only 20 years of age. He goes 5'8", 150, a 6-year pro. His technician, James Coy. Branden Jesseman, though, putting on a show. He got the whole shot and all but checked out with the rest of the group.
Eric Lalloz running us, showing us what it looked like over the triple. He took the sombrero off and ran the camera this week. And he was 4th last week. A great ride as Jesseman takes the checkered flag, but it was beautiful.
Branden Jesseman wins heat number 1 in the 125 East. Mike Brown will have to settle for 2nd, which goes to make you think what would have happened if Brown had to have that slight bobble come over this near side. But we go back to Eric Vallejo, who will be manning the helmet cam for us. And he's in a qualifying position right now. Remember, it's the top 9 to the main event, the other 11 to a very difficult 125 East LCQ.
And we're fortunate to have our camera on Vallejo because he's proven he's a top 5 rider. We should get some great pictures tonight.
When we come back, we'll have final results and a winner interview, plus our Thor rider profile when we continue from Indianapolis, Indiana, and the RCA Dome. And welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana. We're inside the RCA Dome. We just witnessed a great 125 East heat number 1 as we take a look at our official results. Branden Jesseman's your winner, followed by Michael Brown and Brett Metcalfe. Right now, let's throw it down to Cameron Steele.
Well, we talked about starts being key, and Branden Jesseman proved it right there. Heat number 1, great start, great finish, right?
Definitely. My Sobe Suzuki along with Michelin tires got me out to the great start, the whole shot, and I just ran my pace, and Mike was running good, but I guess he made a few mistakes, and those things cost you.
Did you feel him coming up on you? Could you feel the pressure?
Yeah, I felt him coming up, but I just stay relaxed. It's just a qualifier, and we just got to go out there and put 15 laps together in that main event.
Woo, we're looking forward to seeing if you can do it. Good luck, Branden.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Well, how about if we check in at the Boost Mobile Yamaha pit with this guy, the 18. He's from OH10, he says, Ohio. Brock Sellards hanging out. Brock started out the East Coast Series with a pretty solid performance. Are you happy with that, a 2nd place?
I'm happy that I didn't throw it away. You know, I'd be more happy with the first, but first race is always hectic. You know, you go out there, you got to get a good start. Everybody's riding aggressive, a little over their head, and I just was trying to survive and get my 250F up on the podium.
You're not saying Branden Jesseman was riding over his head when he won, are you?
Nah, I think he had it fairly easy. He got out to the start and made a pass right at the beginning and got to ride his own race. He never got pressured, so no, he didn't get a chance to ride over his head.
Well, we know you're rocking it from Ohio. Tell us a little bit about Ohio and what you do back home.
During the summer, I have a pretty sweet outdoor track. I got 140 acres, and about half of the factory riders come back there and stay with me. So we just get ready for outdoors there. But you know, in the off season, I spend all my time for Supercross out in California, and now I'm back in actually Georgia, living at Carmichael's ranch, riding with him now.
Whoa, hanging out with Ricky Carmichael. That's got to be pretty solid. Sick last year, but this year now he's on a new team. You're riding the 4-stroke. I want to ask you, everybody at home is probably like, okay, 4-stroke, 2-stroke, what's going on? Tell us the difference and why you're riding the 4-stroke.
The 4-stroke is just, you know, your preference. It's easy to ride. I've never been a rever, so 2-strokes never suited me that great. The 4-stroke produces all its power down low, so I mean, it's awesome for Supercross. It has so much motor. You can jump the triples, you know, real easy in second gear or third, and they're really, really good in whoops. I mean, that's my main benefit.
Brock Sellards, this guy goes fast. Look for him on top of the podium.
We are now set for 125 East, heat number 2, as we take a look at Brock Sellards coming off a big win last week, David, in Atlanta, Georgia. Does he have the stuff to do it again?
Oh, he's got the stuff. Plus, you know, when you win one, pretty easy to picture yourself winning another one. You know, it's been a little while since Brock has been up front like this and in control of the series, but he's had all kinds of injuries, an Epstein-Barr and arm surgery, and he's past that now, and I think he's really ready to focus. He's also got Johnny O'Mara over there who's helping the Yamaha Troy riders, and it's got to be a little bonus.
Kelly Smith out of Ludington, Michigan on the Yamaha team, racerhouse.com Yamaha. As we take a look at our starting grid, there's Brock Sellards and Kelly Smith. Lalloz is in there, as is Tiger Lacey, Ryan Morris, and the rest of the crew, including Ezra Lust's brother, Shane Lust, number 968. We'll see if he can make it in to the big show as the 32nd board is up. This is 125 race number 2. Brock Sellards on the line.
Paul Curry, number 45. Checking out that 30 board. It just went sideways. We're about to go.
And the race is on for that inside corner of the hole shot here in 125 East, heat number 2. Brock Sellards in the front of the pack gets a great start. Can he hold on to it?
And he's got a little bit better timing. It looked like Kelly Smith has been getting great starts. There he is in second. He gets kind of pushed high by Ryan Mills. Ryan Mills wasn't able to do the triple, so he gives up a couple of spots. Matthieu Lalloz, number 970, up in there. But Kelly Smith has been getting unbelievable starts, and Brock just edged them out with a little more intensity through that first corner into the rhythm section.
Well, Kelly Smith may be credited with the actual hole shot, but your leader right now is Brock Sellards. 20 riders, they're going 6 laps. Top 9 make it onto the 125 East main event here from Indianapolis, Indiana. The other 11 to the LCQ.
There's Kelly Smith right there. That YZ250F. This guy's got a little bit of an advantage on these long horsepower start straights. Brock Sellards also riding one out front, so the top 2 bikes probably the fastest in the field. But when you got to jump up onto those plateaus and then back off, the way that engine kind of acts, almost acts like a bit of a brake. And it has its ups and downs, but it seems to be working pretty good for these guys out front right now. Lalloz keeping the pressure on Kelly Smith behind Sellards and starting to pull away a little bit.
Back in the pack, Justin Thompson had some problems in the back of the course, and he is off the track, dead in the water right now. We'll see if the riders come up on him. They'll be getting to his position in about 5 seconds. He's up and riding now, but meanwhile, Brock Sellards continues to lead as we approach the halfway point of this 125 East. Heat number 2.
Number 970 right there in the Suzuki, chasing down Kelly Smith. Matthieu Lalloz has been battling a little bit of fitness, having some troubles, and not able to really have the kind of weeks that he'd like to have, but doing a pretty good job. He's getting a little bit closer to these guys each time, and You know, fitness or no fitness, the more you can run up front, the better it feels, the more you bring your mental game into it and sort of push the physical part to the side.
Matthieu Lalloz, one of those French transplants, originally from Vesoul, France, near Switzerland, now residing in Corona, California, the 6-year pro, 23 years of age. And as we enter the halfway point here in the 125 East, heat number 2 with 3 laps to go, and you got to give credit, a lot of it, I guess, to David Villeman and some of these other riders who've come over here and said, hey, it's not so bad in the States. The fast food's not great, but everything else is pretty solid.
Yeah. Well, America's great, you know, but these guys still have to make a lot of adjustments there. You get a good idea of the gap from your leader Sellards back to Kelly Smith. You know, you don't see that many Americans going over to Europe and learning how to speak another language and all the practice tracks and, you know, different sets of rules. So, and I really commend all the guys that come over here to the United States and kind of learn how to fit in. Lalloz, now this is only his 3rd race here, and he's looking pretty good. Shae Bentley really putting the pressure on him now, number 104. Derek, he's had all kinds of problems and injuries and stupid things that have kept him from the championship form. He won the title not too long ago, but he's been injured ever since.
Oh! And right behind, right in front, excuse me, of Bentley, Lalloz goes down hard, just curls the nose and drops in. That allows Shag Nasty to go right past him, so
that's the kind of crazy stuff that's happened to Shae Bentley so many times, but here he lucked out. He's just able to escape that swap right there. Just veers to the right. He was real lucky not to get collected in that crash. And look how fast Lalloz is over to get to the bike. That's going to prevent him from having to go to the last chance qualifier.
White flag is out for Brock Sellards, our leader, as he comes through. Behind him, the rest of the field, but he's got a great lead now going.
Yeah, this is Sellards looking at the crowd. He's got to have a big smile under that helmet going, yeah, man, this is going so good. He's a 2nd at the 1st round, a win last week, the points lead, a heat win. Things are going really good for Brock right now.
Well, with all the injuries, David, I mean, a lot of people knew that Brock Sellards was a great rider. We talked about this at the first event up in Minneapolis. He was one of the guys that was a possible contender, but with so many guys going down with injury like Langston and Byrne, it really has opened things up for him. He's made the most of it.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, to give him a little pat on the back, I mean, he was beating those guys anyway. So, I mean, he belongs up here in the lead. He's about to take the checkered flag.
Your winner in heat number 2, 125 from Indianapolis, Brock Sellards out of Sharonville, Ohio. On board the Boost Mobile Yamaha Troy Racing. As we go back in the pack, Bentley gets in there. And the rest of the field, as we look back at Lacey and Lalloz, Tiger Lacey and Matthieu Lalloz going for the last qualifying spot. Remember, the top 9 go to the main event. Tiger Lacey gets 8. Matthieu Lalloz gets in there despite that fall for number 9.
Barry Carson, one of the privateers, really challenging Lalloz in that last corner. He gave him a wheel, but Lalloz was too determined to make it to the main. He doesn't need any more laps on his physical troubles he's been having. So he's in the main, not the best starting position, but a lot better than having to go to the LCQ.
When we come back, we will have final results and a winner interview when we return to Indianapolis Plus, the Suzuki on-track segment. Stay with us. Start 2000. Welcome back to Indianapolis, Indiana in the RCA Dome. There you see the East 125 Heat 2 results. Brock Sellards, your winner, followed by Kelly Smith and Derek Shae Bentley. Right now, let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
Well, that's the way I like it. 2 guys leading the points, winning both the heats. Brock, looks like we're setting it up for a good old showdown shootout.
Yeah, you know, I just want to get through that qualifier safe and, you know, get some good laps in. I'm going to come back for this main event and I'll be on fire.
All right, we know you crashed during the week at Ricky Carmichael's house training. Shoulder, tricep. What Brock Sellards are we seeing here tonight? 85%, 90%?
Yesterday about 2%. Now I don't know. I mean, I feel all right. I got a lot of tape on myself. Every muscle. One pulls, the next one pulls as soon as I tape it. So pretty injured, but it's like one of those things in life. I mean, it's a challenge, and I don't even mind being hurt. I just want to, you know, fight through it. It's like something you do in life just to get to the next level. And, you know, injured, but I'm going to fight through it, and I really, really want to win tonight.
Right on. We'll look and see how it goes in the main event.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
It's now time for our Honda flashback. Last year, Indianapolis was our first event of the 125 East Series. In the main, Kelly Smith took the whole shot, as he has more than once already this year. But the rookie, Australian Chad Reed, was relentless in his hunt for a first Supercross win. Michael Brown did prove to be an obstacle, but not for long. Brown would finish in second, followed by Arena Cross champion, Buddy Antonez.
Chad Reed is going first American Supercross victory.
We're always chilling in the mechanics area, and they all got bags on it. I want to know what's in them. How about you? Hey, we're doing a rundown on what the mechanics carry. What do you got in your bag? What's in your pockets? Come on, spill the beans.
Let's see, got a little bit of water on the side just in case he's a little thirsty or if I'm thirsty. Inside the bag, got some cutters for an emergency. Got your basic 8mm, 10mm, 12mm T-handles. Little stuff, anything to get you by just in a pinch. Any major problems, pretty much you're not going to be doing on the side of the track. You're pretty much going to get back to the truck. So little stuff in case of emergency.
I think you guys should be working on carrying a sandwich in case the pit reporter gets hungry.
Yeah, we could probably work on something like that. Granola bars, ho-hos, cupcakes, anything you guys need. You work hard.
Mike, we want to know what you're carrying in your bag.
I carry a bunch of stuff in my bag, but all my tools that I keep handy are right here in my pocket, so I can just grab them real quick. These are pretty much the tools I'm going to need during practice.
That's all you need to work on Ricky Carmichael's bike?
That's about all I can adjust during practice.
First of all, I have my stopwatch. Lets David know what our times are. And then we have some spare goggles right here in case he sweats a little bit, needs to change his goggles. Some T-handles, some cutters, in case anything like comes off on the bike, need to cut them off.
What's in the super secret pocket right here?
Just some extra bolts in case the bolt falls off.
Nothing top secret? Where's like the nitro?
Yeah, nothing top secret.
What's the solitaire guys got going on?
Well, I got some T-handles, you know, for the bare necessities. My stuff's pretty much...
What do you got there?
A little mouthwash, you know, for the fresh breath, a little hair gel, you know, make my rider look good on the podium, and an energy drink, so he's always pumped up.
There you go. Well, there you have it. Something a little different from those guys. I mean, maybe they got a secret. They're working towards the podium.
If you can, join us in person for the THQ World Supercross GP and the AMA Supercross Series. Future events include Houston, Texas on March 29th, Pontiac, Michigan on April 5th, and Dallas, Texas on April 12th. For more information, log on to www.sxgp.com. The 125 main is coming up next.
On ESPN tonight.
Welcome back to the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. Here's this week's McGrath moment. The main event in Houston's Astrodome in 1996 was an incredible race. Jeff Emig held the lead until his teammate Ryan Hughes caused them both to crash. Jeremy McGrath capitalized on the mishap to take home yet another victory.
McGrath picks up the slack on Emig. Oh, we've got a good early battle going on with number 2 out in front of number 1.
Passed everybody in the whoops, and already we're looking at a replay of last year.
Jeremy McGrath taking a quick lead as he goes up the stair steps. They did that first lap in about a minute. Emig taking the lead in the whoops. Jeremy McGrath to the inside. Can he box him out?
Oh yeah, you know, we've been out front the whole time.
Oh, they collided in the corner of the 2 Kawasaki's. Jeremy McGrath is hand in the lead as Esbrelot battling with Jeremy McGrath. McGrath going to the inside. He will take the lead away from Esbrelot. The checkers in sight for number 1, Jeremy McGrath.
It's time now for your Nissan qualifying highlights. This was the 125 LCQ, and David, you know when you've got 4 spots up for grabs, it's going to be hot in that first corner.
Now riders going out up over the top block and going down, and as soon as you crash in the first turn of the race this short, it's over.
Scott Metz gets the whole shot, and soon thereafter, Steve Boniface would take control.
Now he just hopped his way through the whoop section right into the lead and held on.
So Scott Boniface is your winner in the LCQ, followed by Scott Metz, Josh Summey, and Barry Karsten. Those are your Nissan qualifying result highlights. Well, this is the 125 parade lap. It's the show before we go. 22 riders going 15 laps. That means there's 22 opportunities for danger and only one possibility for glory. It's now time for our THQ track map, David.
Long start. These 125s are going to be just getting into fourth gear before they hit the first sweeper. I expect to see some action there. Maybe a few guys getting pushed off over the outside. Then the first rhythm section. That's probably the trickiest section out here tonight, right off the bat, because of the rut. You see a lot of guys making mistakes through there, and that takes you into the first triple. And you go right across the starting line and back underneath the tunnel into the whoop section, which is getting broken down quite a bit. There's some elevation there, so it's still tricky in that aspect, but those guys are blitzing right through there now. That takes you back, ran over to the finish line jump, another triple on the other side of the stadium, around the perimeter and back into where the first turn came out. And because of the track, Todd, and the faster lap times, it's going to be a high-intensity main event.
High intensity indeed as we go to the line. The 250s are later in the evening, but this is all about the 125s. Brock Sellards picked up a huge victory last week in Atlanta as he gets that fork set for that long straightaway right next to Michael Brown, number 3. And unbelievable how fast these guys head to that first turn.
You see Art Ekman pacing back and forth behind the starting line for the SXGP.com webcast and listen in live. And it's great to listen in live and hear it, let your imagination run wild, but nothing quite like being here live to see it. There's Mike Brown getting set, mechanic getting in his ear going, come on, you know, we need that intensity, we need a win, we got to get these points back, don't let these guys get away from you. He's got to stay on top of Jesseman. No mistakes tonight. He's got to ride perfect to win this.
Let's take a look at our THQ starting lineup. Branden Jesseman, Brock Sellards, Michael Brown, Kelly Smith, Brett Metcalfe there, and the rest of the crew. We'll keep an eye on who gets the SXGP.com hole shot. As David pointed out, SXGP.com, www, that's the website. Listen in live. Eric Vallejo is carrying the helmet cam, and we are off and racing in Indianapolis 125 East main action.
Looks like Brown had a great reaction, but he got closed off, and it's Kelly Smith again.
Someone needs to set up a Kelly Smith School of Start because he is absolutely putting on a show, but not for long. Number 18, Brock Sellards says, I'm going to check out as quick as possible and claim yet another victory.
Brock Sellards is doing what he needs to do. I mean, he's just in the right place at the right time, but he's putting himself there. He's creating his own luck, staying out front, out of trouble.
So Brock Sellards, last week's winner, will lead them into green flag lap. Kelly Smith right behind him. And Kelly Smith does pick up the SXGP.com hole shot. Troy Carroll closing in as well.
There you got it. Metcalfe was able to just get around Troy Carroll. So Sellards in the lead. Troy Carroll was in third. He just got dropped back to fifth. Those are the two YZ250Fs. Yamaha Troy. You got another one with Kelly Smith. So 3 of them in the top 5. They've got an advantage off the start. Look at number 56. Sellards moving out to close off Brown and get himself set up for the corner. A couple of riders going wide. KTM rider, I couldn't tell who that was exactly. It might have been Metcalfe. Or Boniface rather, going all the way to the outside. There's Metcalfe in good position, so it wasn't him. It's Shae Bentley. Great to see him get some breaks now, get a good start, and be able to race up front. He's ahead of the factory Suzuki rider, Branden Jesseman now. He's got a good run going.
Jag Nasty is out there giving it a run, and for Kelly Smith, he now becomes a 3-time SXGP.com hole shot winner, getting it in Minneapolis and Atlanta, and now here in Indianapolis.
You know, you see Sellards way out front now, just riding his own race, just trying to stay out of the deep ruts, not make mistakes, make sure he just jumps everything clean. And when he looks back over his shoulder, you know, he's able to keep the gap. And it's because you got all this bumping going on back there. These guys are just slowing each other up, letting Sellards get away. It's an easy race for him, and he's probably just blown away at how simple it is. Believe me, if he's back here where these guys are, man, it's war.
Well, I think Branden Jesseman and Mike Brown right now are the most frustrated because they're trying to work their way through the pack, and they can't even see Sellards. He's already going down the other side, so they know he's long gone. Now it's time to salvage the podium position.
Now, look at all this banging going on. Metcalfe and Shae Bentley. Shae Bentley goes in there, and I cannot believe neither one of those guys went down. Jesseman's like, dang it. I thought I was going to have an easy pass on both of them.
But 2 spots in 1.
And he's back in there, though. He's fighting.
Well, Branden Jesseman continues to battle. Remember, he won our first 125 East event up in Minneapolis last week at event number 2. We got another pass. Jesseman gets it done.
He got him, so now he's up into 3rd. Jesseman doing what he needs to do. He's losing some points on Sellards, but he's starting to limit that just a bit. If he was to finish right here, he'd only lose 5 points.
When we return to Indianapolis' RCA Dome, we'll have more of the 125 main right here on ESPN. Welcome back to Indianapolis. This is stop number 3 of the 125 East, and your leader is Brock Sellards. And let's sit it down to Cameron Steele, who's trackside with Todd Brown, Brock Sellards' mechanic.
Well, whole shot's a big key here in the 125 East, but the question is, can Brock hold up with his injury for 15 laps?
I believe he can. Like I said, it's mind over matter. We're in that hunt for the championship, and I think Brock can do it. His shoulder's been bothering him, but I think he'll be all right.
Right on, we'll see how it works out.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron. This is 125 East, round number 3 from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Your leader, Brock Sellards, winner in last week's Atlanta event. Branden Jesseman, winner in Minneapolis with our first 125 East event, sits in 2nd. Metcalfe in 3rd. Shag Nasty, Shae Bentley in 4th. And Mike Brown has slid back to 5th position. So Brown certainly has the most to lose here, David, if he stays back in 5th. Meanwhile, Branden Jesseman trying to reel in our leader, Brock Sellards.
Well, Metcalfe is having a great run. He looked great in practice yesterday. You know, I was thinking, man, if he keeps riding like that, oh, it's a little squirrely coming into that corner, but just jams out of there, makes up for it. But, yeah, it was no fluke that he was riding so well yesterday. He's right back in there in a podium position. Shae Bentley fighting for it. It'd be great to see Shae get up on the podium as well. Both these guys really riding hard and deserve it. Pulling away from Brown right now. Brown's got to be like, man, come on. You know, the title's slipping away. And he's good enough. You know, he should be able to get around these two guys, but just riding tight or not coming together, just something's not working like it ought to be.
Metcalfe on board the KTM out of South Australia, and right now Shae Bentley's trying to get a good run on him. Metcalfe on the inside, Bentley, oh, what a turn!
Nice. Yeah, Shae Bentley thought he had it, he gets him back.
I'll tell you what, Metcalfe did a great job of reeling him in, and Bentley thinking he had it. He comes back, gets him in. Look at this, Metcalfe trying to close on the inside line. Doesn't have the juice to get it done. Bentley slides in front.
And when those guys are doing all that, look who joined the party. So Brown's not giving up yet. He faded just a little bit last week. You know, and it's not because he's getting tired. That guy, man, you see him, he's fit. I mean, he's got muscles in his face. You know, this guy, he trains so hard. He trains a lot down at Carmichael's house on his track. And, you know, there's no reason in the world why he shouldn't be able to really put a challenge to these guys. And you could just see in the shot there, Jesseman just going by. So not that far behind second place.
Got it down to about 4 seconds. Brock Sellards continues to lead. Branden Jesseman in 2nd. Jesseman's problem is he got a lap rider in front of him. That's going to slow him down just a little bit once he has to make that pass. They get a glance at each other, and here's the battle. Shae Bentley starting to make a little bit of a distance between himself and Metcalfe, and Mike Brown is on the back of Metcalfe on that KTM. Here comes Mike Brown, number 3 on the Kawasaki out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
While we're checking all this, Ryan Mills just goes by just out in front of these guys. It's Jesseman inching up slightly on Brock Sellards. Sellards keeping his composure,
and Mike Brown gets the pass. So Mike Brown has now moved in to 4th position. Brown 10 seconds behind our leader, so it's not really a blowaway as the rest of the pack just tries to find Brock Sellards. He is almost gone. Branden Jesseman now starting to make a charge. He's got it down below 4 seconds, so that's a positive sign.
Well, he just shaved a second off of his lead, and as these guys start to get into lapped riders, I've said this a bunch of times, but if you haven't joined us before, here goes, we'll take a look at Mike Brown's pass. It was just a mistake by Metcalfe.
Look at this.
While we were watching that, Sellards made a mistake, and now we got a great battle for the lead.
We'll step aside momentarily. When we return to Indianapolis, we'll have the conclusion of the 125 main event. we've got a great 125 main coming down to the final lap.
Jesseman's got the inside. Doesn't decide to go for it. He's playing it smart. They're way ahead of third. He can take his time. Comes up short of the triple there. Whoa! The track is getting really tricky, Todd. It's ruts everywhere, and this is the part of the race where you start to get really, obviously very nervous, but a little bit tired. That's where those mistakes start to really cost you.
Well, that whoop section certainly has been compressed quite a bit. They're able to go through there a lot faster. Brock Sellards continues to lead, but by about 3 feet. Branden Jesseman, who won in Minneapolis, is starting to close the gap. Both of them having no problems with that triple. And Jesseman now just kind of dancing around the back of Sellards, trying to find a good line to make it work.
You know, it seems like Jesseman, he's got to feel like he's in the driver's seat. Back to the inside again. It may not be as nice this time. Nope, Sellards
hung up on that last one.
But he cannot afford to be calm and cool and think, oh, I got this guy. Caught him. He's making a mistake. But Sellards will fight.
Look at that. Jesseman picks a great line there, but doesn't have the power coming out of the corner. Sellards goes in tight. Jesseman comes right back. So Jesseman set that one up about a half a lap ahead, it looks like. And this time makes it 6. So there are the men that go 1 and 2 in the 125 East with 4 laps remaining. Brock Sellards now trying to get back what was his.
Well, you could see this coming. As soon as Sellards charged hard to get back in front of him, it just opened that inside for Jesseman, and he rode right in there. I mean, I think Sellards knew it too. He's just like, well, you know, no matter what I did there, he was going to get around me. So see if he can answer the challenge. Now you got a great battle for the final spot on the podium. Brown's not giving up either.
Battle for third, Shae Bentley right there on the ECC Suzuki. Mike Brown, number 3 on the Kawasaki. Mike Brown trying to stay on the podium. As Shae Bentley, Shag Nasty trying to get back on top of the sport, a great rider. And he's got Mike Brown. We talked about Mike Brown earlier in the evening about you go into a corner and Mike Brown's with you, you better know it. Look at that.
A little example of that. Now Shae's like, well, I better get out of the way. You can't fight with Brown from the outside. I'd love to see Shae fight just a little bit more. This is the podium. It's been a long time since he's been up there, and he's right there. You never know when you're going to get an opportunity like this again. He's staying right with him. But if I had to talk about who was more fit out of these guys down the stretch, I'm not sure what Bentley's been doing. There goes the pass again. But, man, I know what Brown does, and that guy's fit. He's not going to fade.
Let's go back down to Cameron Steele. He's standing by again with James Coy, Branden Jesseman's mechanic, and he's got to be happy.
Well, James, now I see you smiling up more the way you like it, right?
Yeah, I'm a little bit more relaxed right now. This can't start the nerve-wracking for me.
Only a few laps left to go. You get nervous now, or you feel like you've got it in the bag?
No, this is when I start to relax towards the end of the race. This is when it's all going to come together.
Right on. Great job, James.
Thank you.
And once again, great reporting by Cameron Steele. Eric Vallejo currently sitting in 7th. He is wearing the helmet cam. Out of the fray right now.
Wow, Sellards. No, I thought that was Sellards making a mistake. It was. Sellards blew it. Just gets going again. There's Vallejo right up behind him. So Sellards, I think, was getting flustered and maybe a bit tired. Here it is again, front end washed out. Oh, that's just one of those ones where you're like, man, what the heck was I thinking right there? I know better than that, but concentrating at this pace with so much on the line, man, until you've been out there, it's so hard to imagine.
Well, 20, as they went 15 laps, I mean, the podium on the line, Bentley is now in a podium position, and unfortunately, Sellards has dropped back to 7th. This is the white flag lap. Our leader is Branden Jesseman. Mike Brown sits in 2nd, and Shae Bentley sits in 3rd.
Now, with Jesseman, this will be his 2nd win in the 3rd round. So he's in control. He's about to take the checkered flag in a commanding lead in the series. That might have been a deadly blow for Sellards.
Branden Jesseman on board the Suzuki is your winner. Picks up his 2nd victory of this young 125 East season. Mike Brown will get a 2nd place finish. And what a great conclusion as Shae Bentley comes in. Shae Bentley back on the podium.
Good for him. Now I feel bad for Brock, but you know, that happens. That stuff happens, and he'll be mad at himself. He had a podium for sure. He had second, really.
Yeah, Brock Sellards 2 laps ago was our leader, and he ends up finishing in 7th behind our cameraman Eric Vallejo, number 179, who gets 6th position.
Different guy. Great ride.
But a great victory for Branden Jesseman. Didn't get a great start, was 4 or 5 positions back, battled his way through, kept his focus the whole way, David, and he was rewarded.
So it just reverses from last week. Brown beating Jesseman. This time Jesseman edging him out to get those points back. So they pretty much split for the past 2 weeks in points, but now Jesseman's in the lead, and Brown, he's up into second now probably with the mistake by Sellards. So this 125, I mean, this is a lot different than what's going on out in the West. Can't wait till these guys all get together in Vegas. It's going to be incredible.
When we come back to Indianapolis' RCA Dome, we will have official results from the 125 East main event. Plus, we'll talk with our winners. Stay with us. ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. Welcome back as we take a look at our Suzuki main results. Branden Jesseman is your winner. Mike Brown, Shae Bentley, Metcalfe, and Smith ran up the top 5. And let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
Well, that hype on hole shots, this guy just proved you don't need a hole shot to win. Brandon, great race, but it seemed like there was some work going on for you.
Definitely. You know, I had a little slow reaction on the start there, my fault, but I was able to get my Sobe Suzuki running good and coming up through the pack, avoid some of the guys falling down, and you know, get up here on the top.
Seemed like some guys were falling. We saw Brock get a little squirrely. Talk about the track. Was it a lot of guys were saying that it was an easy track to ride, but it seems like the dirt got tough there at the end.
Yes, it did. It started running up a little bit, and when you're not used to it, it can make you tighten up, get some arm pump, but luckily my Sobe Suzuki, along with RG3 suspension, Michelin tires, Scott Fly, everything, the combination I got worked great out there, and I just can't say enough.
I guess that's going to put you right up there in the points where you want to be now on top.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely where I want to be.
Right on, Branden Jesseman, your champion tonight. Awesome performance coming from a little bit back to win it. Great job.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron. As we take a look at our Suzuki Series standings in the 125 East, and what a wild ride it's going to be. Branden Jesseman takes control by virtue of those 2 wins. And for more trackside, let's go down to Cameron.
Well, Mike Brown seems like he's got speed to burn. He can come from mid-pack and move on up to second place. A great job, Mike, but what's going on with the start?
I don't know. I've always been known for a good starter, and it ain't happening this week or last week, but I don't know what it is. I'm just not getting a good start. The 4-strokes are all getting in front of us, and, you know, you got to let off when you're not in the front, so I don't know. Just keep working on it.
Well, to win the championship, you have to be consistent. Right now, it seems like you're being consistent. You get a start. Heck, wow, you might be way out in front.
Yeah, I'd hope so. You know, if I can get a start with these guys like Brock did, and, you know, I believe I could get out and get going. But like you say, you get back behind some of the riders, and it holds you up, and, you know, you can't do much with it.
Well, it's tough when you got guys blocking you. Was it tough to move around people on this track?
It was. Everybody was jumping everything, and the whoops were pretty easy, and everybody was going the same speed, and you just had to go a little faster to make passes.
Right on. Well, great job tonight, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron. Hey, if you can join us in person, please do so. We've got upcoming events in Houston, Texas on March 29th, Pontiac, Michigan on April 5th, and Dallas, Texas on April 12th. And for more information, log on to www.sxgp.com. And for more trackside, let's go down to Cameron.
Well, check it out, a feel-good story right here. Shae Bentley, 2000 East Coast 125 champion. It's been since 2000 since you're on the podium. Shae, it looks like you're ready to cry, man. Are you happy for what?
People have no idea what I've went through. I've worked so hard and come back and got hurt. And the only reason I honestly got third in was because I seen where I was at and I was just pumped up. I just quit breathing, and I'm so much better than that, and I like to thank the Lord Jesus Christ. I mean, I have the best job in the world. You don't get no better than that.
Talk about the race itself. It seemed like guys were going down. It was a little squirrely out there. Was the dirt loose?
Well, the dirt started getting loose, and in sections it was real tacky, but in other sections it was hard as a rock. So, I mean, there was big rocks, and the jump started getting lifted out. It was difficult, but you know, that's why what they call us professionals, I guess.
Does it feel like it puts you over the hump? I mean, and give you some confidence and get up here and stay up here?
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 races I've been so nervous and had no drive. I mean, I just let my nerves take over. I came in here with high expectations to be up here every time, and then, you know, you go out and you don't perform, it just beats you down. So this is definitely the start. You know, this is what started my championship. 3rd round, 3rd place, so there's good things going to happen from here.
Right on. Congratulations on a great race.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron. So on behalf of Jamie Little, Cameron Steele, and the champ, David Bailey, I'm Todd Harris saying so long from Indianapolis, Indiana's RCA Dome. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.